Ed from the Edamus here. Welcome to the Study Abroad Vlogs. So, today, this is the first official one. The one before this was just an introduction. So, let's get started. So, the question, who should study abroad? So, this is an important one because basically you have to ask yourself, should I, could I, would I study abroad? Now, of course, if you're in school now and you're a language major or, you're a international studies major, you should probably study abroad, regardless of whatever the fuck I say. Because, who am I anyway? But if you're not, if you're in another, like computer science or things like that, and you want to ask yourself, should I study abroad? This is going to be kind of like an outline for you. These questions you should ask yourself and determine. So, the first facet of should I study abroad is, what about your personality? Are you introverted? Are you extroverted? So, do you shy away from social situations such as the sun? Do you love going out and hanging out with people? Do you love being that guy in the middle of the group? Can you make new friends easily? Yes or no? It's very important because basically you're going there alone. Studying abroad is kind of scary. I mean, the first time I did it, and the second time, even the second time, it's fucking scary. You don't know anyone. You go there, you're in a new dorm or a guest house or wherever you're going to be living, and that's in another one, another episode of the series. So you have to ask yourself, can I make new friends easily? When you joined college or whatnot, could you talk to anyone, or could you at least make a few close friends? This is very important because studying abroad, you have a lot of issues that come up and a lot of surprises, and as an adult, you have to be able to handle them. And with that, you have to be able to... You have to have a support system, and that support system is very important because having a support system means you'll have other people to back up, not just people like home in America or wherever you're from, because you can rely on them to a certain degree, but they're not going to be there to be able to talk to you face to face. Skype does have limitations, and the time difference, especially if you're in America or you're in Japan and they're in America, can be kind of hard to set up a schedule because you'll either be up late at night or up really in the morning and vice versa for whomever you're talking to. And can you break from the group? Now, so that seems like counteractive to can you make friends? And by meaning break from the group, I mean when you study abroad, you're going to be going to a school that's obviously accepting all of you in, right? So you're like, oh, welcome foreigners to our school, let's have fun. Now, you guys are going to form a camaraderie. And that camaraderie is very almost important. You become like brothers or sisters in acting together as foreigners in a new land. And you can explore and do that. And that's all great and good. I made so many close friends because of the dorm I lived in and, the group and the camaraderie that formed there. I would not take that away from the world. But I was able to act on my own, and I was able to remove myself from the group in order to really try to immerse myself in the culture that I was in, Japan. And that's really hard to do. So at the one I studied about, which I'll talk, the school, it's really hard because everyone can speak English, right? So the culture's kind of already mixed, but you have to go almost beyond that to put yourself in that, to break away from that foreigner group and to act on your own inside that culture. That's really hard to do. A good friend of mine who studied abroad here in America from Japan was able to successfully break away from the group and had a great time. And when I know a couple people in Japan, when they came from here, they studied abroad in Japan, they were able to successfully do that. You have to kind of find a balance. I'm not saying you just leave everyone because then you kind of create a negative stigma. So, and that, depending on how you interact, not here or there. Anyway, so... Now, because this is a JVlog channel and this is a study abroad thing, obviously most people watching this video are going to be studying abroad in Japan or hoping to, from wherever you are. This question is very, very important. Are you an otaku? Or better yet, are you a weeaboo? And if you don't know the definition of these words, then you are not. So, I'll ask one more time. Are you an otaku? Uh-huh. I want to think a little differently about approaching that when you study abroad. Otaku are not... The American term of otaku, or weeaboo, is kind of like you're proud of it. It's like, I am otaku, here I am. Come to me. I'm going to my culture. You couldn't be more wrong. Japan it has weird shit. I'm not saying it doesn't. But people that are otaku in Japan are socially inept. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but, I have to say it because otaku that study abroad that only have one connection to the culture, and that being anime and manga, generally have a harder time doing it. Now, it's not impossible. If you have a very deep personality, or you have a lot of different interests that include anime and manga, like myself, then you can definitely do it. I'm not trying to dissuade you, but I'm just saying that if the only thing connecting you to Japan is anime and manga, reevaluate it. There's other things about the culture that are amazing, that you should equate yourself when you're there. When you meet somebody, when you go there, this might get a special blog all by itself. When you meet somebody and you say, "Hi, how are you doing? What anime do you like?" They're going to be like, "What the fuck? This guy's weird. Jesus Christ." And then they'll walk away. Maybe not like exactly like that. They'll be nice and then get your number and information. "I'll contact you." And you never hear from that guy again. That's just what happens. Now, I know a lot of people that when they went there being a self-claimed otaku, manga, anime, or like a band or group or one thing, then they kind of became a shut-in. So, yeah, I'll get into that in a minute. So, next question is the language. Are you willing to learn? And most of you probably are. So, you have to be willing to learn the language, otherwise you're going to have a hard fucking time. Now, very quickly you get the basics. Biru kudasai, biru hitotsu. You got that? You're good. I used to say, a little side note, I used to always go hitotsu biru, which is wrong, because it's saying one beer. They're like separate things. So you have to say biru hitotsu. When I learned that, I was like, oh, I didn't know that. That's the shit you learn. You learn how to slowly be able to get shit. Anyway, next. School. You have to be able to choose the right school. That will definitely be in its own vlog, but you are going for school. So please ask yourself, would I go there and actually try and study? If nothing but the language, then studying abroad is so much fun. It's fucking crazy how fun it is. And I recommend it for almost everybody. But you have to kind of go there to study. You can waste all your time and not. That's fine. I mean, that's up to you. But you are paying money, so think about that. That's probably for people that are older, like probably my age. I'm like 27, turning 28. They'll probably think like, yeah, if I was in school, I would have definitely studied more. Because now I'm like thinking like, God, I'm fucking retarded. Oh, should probably say the R word. God, I'm fucking stupid. So, yeah, it's like, okay. Experience. Now, you should ask yourself, am I open to doing new things? I would always tell my stepdad, I don't like to push the envelope. And if you don't know that expression, it means I don't like to try new things. I don't like to, risk anything. And I told him that maybe like 10 years ago. And he always brings it up to me. It's like, pushing the envelope at all today? And I'm like, eh. But like, in all due seriousness, you have to be willing to do new things, try new things. Otherwise, you're going to be scared as fuck and just live in your room all the time. For example, I, with some of my friends from my dorm, were security at a pole dancing competition in Tokyo. Now, that sounds really weird, but it was actually like at Tokyo Dome, and we were literally security. We got our own shirts and things like that, and badges, and we were the security. Like a couple of my friends would, make sure people had tickets when they went in. It wasn't like the big Tokyo Dome. It was like next to it, like in the building, but like a little, like a theater thing. And I was in the elevator area, making sure that the people that were going in the back were only people that were supposed to be there. And it was a lot of fun. And, security, woo, martial arts. So anyway, you have to be willing to try new things and kind of put yourself out there. That's just one example. Of course, going to an onsen in Japan, like, the hot spring, going and climbing a mountain. Some people don't like climbing or hiking, so you're just doing shit. Because, damn, you're studying abroad, you went to a new fucking country, do shit. Last but not least, expectation. Do you have a huge expectation? A 極端な期待. Do you have that? Do you have a huge expectation about Japan? Now, what do I mean, or about your country that you're going to be studying abroad? Lose it if you do. Japan is not what you think. It's not all whatever the fuck you think it is. It's definitely just a country where people live and people do things every day. You know, you definitely see the trains and the drunk salarymen. You definitely see anime and manga and those type of like cutesy things everywhere. You do see weird shit like the feel a porn star's breasts for donation money, not donation, but like charity money. You know, they have weird shit like that. But every country kind of does. Japan just gets Japan's just has more weird shit. Anyway, so that expectation is super important. I have had a couple friends that were at my university that studied abroad that have an extreme expectation of what Japan is, and when they were met with the reality of what it is, it broke them. And by that, I mean they just became a shut-in. They didn't leave their room. They made very few friends. The friends they did make, they kept very closely, which is fine. But they basically didn't do fucking anything. And to me, it's such a fucking waste, because you're paying all this money. People that want to go, that should go, couldn't go because you went. And if you go, then have fun. Do stuff. But don't have an expectation. That expectation kills. Because, going back to the otaku thing, a friend that went there, acquaintance, that went there, super big otaku, self-acclaimed, every time she would meet someone from Japan, a Japanese person, or in the department, she'd be like, I'm an otaku! And you're like, oh, that's great, you know? Cool. Do you define yourself by anything else? I mean, when I meet someone, and when I talk to them, the first thing I say is not, I am an otaku. If that is the first thing you say, stop watching this video, unsubscribe, and go away. I'm gonna edit that out. If that is the first thing you say, I'm an otaku, when you meet someone. Don't. Just stop. From here forward. Take it from me. Please stop. Okay, anyway. So they went to Japan. And they were met with this resistance from the Japanese people. That, like, you know, just, it's not something they're used to saying. It'd be like somebody coming here to America and be like, I love McDonald's. I want to eat a Big Mac every day. Do you love McDonald's? I am a McDonald's lover. And, you know, that would be really weird. You'd be like, oh, okay. Cool story, bro. And you'd go away because it's fucking weird, right? So imagine something that they have just grown up since birth, seeing everywhere. It's just part of their society. And they're like, I love this subculture thing. And that's the only thing that they associate with that country. That's where the problem lies. That expectation was hit. She thought, you know, Japan was this wonderful anime manga place. Everywhere is manga and anime. And she was hit with a huge, just, wall of like, oh shit, this person's weird. And she had a hard time making Japanese friends. And it seemed to me she had a hard time coping with Japan. And the entire time, from about 200 days before she had to be home, is the fucking 12-month thing. Not quite, but quite long. She was counting the days till she got home. Now, I understand that studying abroad, you miss home. You miss home a lot. Homesickness is a big one, and that's something else I'm going to be talking about in this series. But you can't have that expectation. Another friend went with a big expectation of what Japan is, and when she went there, she fucking hated it. She hated everything about it. Everything was an attack on her. You know, you have this person that, you know, is yelling at you because of something you're currently doing, which isn't really big, but in America, it's totally cool to do. But in Japan, I guess, especially older people, there's like, what the fuck is so disrespectful? And, you know, they're met with that resistance, and then she hated it from there on. And she's like, oh, I wish all my other friends were here. And, you know, you can't do that. You just can't fucking do that. You should ask yourself all these questions when you're going to be studying abroad. What's my personality? Do I think I'd be a good fit? 2, am I an otaku, specifically to Japan? Am I an otaku? If yes, do you have other things that define you, that don't bring up? 3, are you willing to study the language? Normally everyone's yes. 4, are you willing to study a little bit? Yes. Okay. Experiences. Do new things. If you're willing to do them, go for it. And last, expectation. Can you have it or keep it to a minimum? And you ask yourself these several questions. You ask your 6 questions questions, and you'll be fucking good to go. So, the next one up is going to be, where should I study abroad? Or, more specifically, in Japan, what school should I study abroad at? And, you know, here we go. From there, once you decide where you're gonna go, then we'll decide how to go. So, awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. Part 1 of the Study Abroad vlog series, done. Now, look forward to the next one. I'm gonna try and pump it out this week. I put a lot of time into this one, a lot of thinking, a lot of studying, a lot of writing into studying. Put a lot of time into this one, a lot of writing, thinking, asking questions of my friends, looking at how they studied abroad, how I studied abroad, and all that. So, woo! Alright, cool. Big UFC tonight, UFC 156. I'm rooting for Alistair Overeem. We're all one. This is his shirt that he supported for Japan for the big earthquake. Woo! Okay, cool. Party on, guys.